Rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending. What's Trending?
Got it! Spencer Johnson for three.
And what's trending is BYU just finding ways to win at home against Idaho State and now Missouri State. Is winning enough right now for BYU basketball, Jarom, when it comes to the opponent and this young team and so many moving pieces? What do you think? Is it enough? Because they were a 23-point favorite against Idaho State, 9.5 going into last night against Missouri State, and they win both of those games by one possession.
Missouri State better than Idaho State. Those two aren't created equal, but I say yes, it's enough because we don't have NCAA tournament demands for this group. Perhaps they grow into that later in the season. But from what we've seen, this is a new look group with 12 new guys. Three transfers are injected into the top, 8 in the rotation there. Noah Waterman, great game last night with the 5 threes. The program standard is NIT plus. You at least have to make that right. And this team is fringe NIT at the moment, how they're playing, which is barely beating Idaho State and Missouri State. It's early, new group. There are going to be some growing pains. 56, turnovers in 3 games. Still figuring out with the scheme. So I say yes. This isn't football where we walked in with top 20 expectations and then suddenly BYU is defeating Wyoming and Utah State by 12 and 14, and we asked the same exact question at the moment, and I said in that moment, no, it's not good enough. Right now I'm saying yes, because BYU could easily be 0-3. They could also easily be 3-0. So it's interesting, and I'm not super demanding at the moment with this men's basketball team this early in the season.
Just find a way to win when you are so new. When you bring in young players, and I keep hearing from the coaches, man, these 3 return missionary freshmen, Jaren Hall and Tanner Toolson and Richie Saunders, they're special. They're special. If they have a killer instinct, they have a winning instinct in them. And when you are winning with young players on the floor, when Jaren Hall is on the floor as a freshman point guard and hitting your game-winning shot late, then yeah, just winning is enough. Because everybody wants to learn through winning. Imagine if we were sitting here talking like, man, I can't believe BYU is 1-2 or 0-3 with home losses to Idaho State and Missouri State. It would feel drastically different.
Totally. Those would be quad 3 and 4 losses probably at the end of the year. Yeah.
Those are the types of losses that Mark Pope has largely avoided in his tenure at BYU. And to have 2 of those potentially at home this early in the season, yeah, we'd be in kind of a little bit of crisis or panic mode. Like, oh, man. Like,
are they even going to make the NIT?
We'd be saying, like, this team needs to learn how to win a close game, right? And we're seeing that with BYU women's basketball. They've led at halftime in all 3 games and have not won any of those games. And so that the rhetoric is theirs. Well, they don't know how to win clutch games yet. This team with young players and a lot of new moving parts, they do. They have that winning instinct, and that's worth something. So to me, yeah, winning is enough right now. When BYU gets into league play and we're halfway through the season, and is anybody going to complain if they win a close game against Pacific on the road by 1? No. Like, well, they were a 8-point favorite in Stockton. Who cares?
Did BYU go to that game?
Just win, just win games. For a young team with 12 new parts, winning right now is enough. I don't care if it's by 1 or it's by 20. Absolutely. They've got something. They've got the ability to finish a game in clutch scenarios, and that's big.
The something the most is at home and against teams you should beat. And then it's nice that they're making those plays, right? Because BYU basketball standard is, hey, teams like this you should beat up at home. Now, we screamed at everybody in the pregame, hey, Missouri State's better than you think. Like,
yes.
Don't overlook them. I thought the 9.5-point line was crazy.
Too much.
We were right on that.
Too much.
That Missouri State was more talented than we thought. Why Chance Moore isn't coming or starting is weird. He's coming off the bench, put up 18. Dude's baller. Dude has NBA G League skill set. You know what I mean? Like he's a pro eventually. So yeah, is winning enough? Yes, because we're not walking around going, this is a tourney team preseason. We're not saying that. We're hoping they're in the NIT at least, you know what I mean?
Mark
and
Pope
sniffing the
said,
tourney.
How many times has Coach Pope said, Well, it's going to be an adventure this season, and we just got to figure it out along the way.
He is setting up expectations, which is he's not saying this, but this is my translation, what I think. We're not a tourney team. Maybe we'll become that, but we're totally changing our scheme. We don't have any bigs. Like, just if we somehow figure this out, maybe we can make a run. I'm not saying Gonzaga is vulnerable and not going to win the league. They lost by 19 last night at Texas. BYU's always playing for second in the league. St. Mary's supposed to be pretty good again. But, like, yeah, if you can be in third place and be NIT+, that's success. And then it's going to take a couple years in the Big 12, too. Like, if you think Missouri State and Idaho State are tough at home, just wait. Just wait. And it's the beginning of a season. What I am concerned about, though, is you're going, hey, Jaren Hall make a play. I love that he made a play. I'm just concerned because missionaries hit a wall typically in that freshman year back. It takes a year to be back physically. And he's within that year still. This is awesome. But at some point, typically missionaries hit a wall. He's probably feeling good, fighting through it physically, looks great, used his physical strength to get some space there. I don't like that Rudy Williams has 15 turnovers in 3 games and isn't on the court at the end. In terms of sustainability and whatnot, I did like the big hug that he gave Jaren Hall on the court and in the locker room. Tells me that he's a great teammate, that there's not friction in that regard. Jaren Hall is going to join us in the next segment. We'll talk about that relationship because those guys just want to win, and they are right now. I'm just concerned that when you're looking across the bench that it's not Missouri State and it's a more challenging foe, say perhaps Utah or St. Mary's or whatnot, that it'll be tougher to make those plays down the stretch like it was at San Diego State.
I'm hoping, because you bring up the missionary wall, I'm hoping that this is a Mark Bigelow, Travis Hansen scenario where those guys didn't really hit well. They just came back and were pretty good, even off of the mission. And I feel like Jaren Hall could be that guy. Like, so
hopefully he's the exception.
I hope he beats that trend.
Yes, because physically it's tough. It is unrealistic for us to say, you've been gone for 2 years, be as good as you were before or better once you get into a season. It's like a college player going into the minors in baseball. It's like you played like 50 games. Well, now it's game 70. You're a right-handed pitcher. Like, how is your arm late in the year? It's just like, okay, this is new for you. This amount of games, this tough, this level after a mission. Hopefully he's good. Yeah. We'll talk to him in the next segment. Well, but, like, I'm not concerned about now.
Sure.
I'm concerned about, like, January 12th or whatever at Santa Clara where it's like, just doesn't have the legs.
Hey, I'm hoping he can beat the trend. He can be more like that Mark Bigelow, Travis Hansen scenario.
And I love to break down, like, their January 12th, if you will. It's like, was there a stretch where I was like, hey, that was tough? Regarding his future, yesterday Jaren Hall said the following after practice.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm doing yet. There's a lot of game left, a lot of weeks left. I don't really want to think about that yet. Just enjoy the time with the boys, the Pooks over here, and all the guys. It's fun time. A lot of good things going for us right now, so just trying to be in the moment. Just cruise control for now. Just keep doing what we're doing and having a good time.
Okay, cruise control. He's on the freeway. Is there any? It's adaptive cruise controls, so he'll pull up and then he'll just slow down for him. Is there any chance, based on that, that Jaren Hall?
I don't even want to go there.
I can't even say it. Is back next year.
I don't even want to go there emotionally. Like, what's jersey number does Jaren Hall wear? 3? Yeah, about a 3% chance that he's back.
Is it that high?
Wow. And maybe
okay.
that's maybe even that is ambitious. I know that Jaren Hall is a very, very steady, even keel, smart, well thought out guy. You interview him, you spend 2 minutes with him, you can figure that out in a hurry. And the logic is overwhelmingly screaming at him, go to the NFL. He's an extremely logical person. So even though he says he's trying to live in the moment, and I appreciate that he wants to do that. And you know, if anything, that comment gives me hope that Jaren wouldn't sit out BYU's bowl game. Like, BYU would have him as their quarterback in that bowl game. If he wants to enjoy the time with Puka Nacua and the guys and
hopefully he plays.
Live in the moment, that gives me a little bit more hope that he's going to be BYU's quarterback in whatever bowl game they play in. And yes, they will be bowl eligible after they beat Utah Tech on Saturday. More on the other side coming up in just a bit.
There's some bulletin board material coming out of St. George.
So I don't think Jaren Hall's coming back next year.
No way, man.
I do believe when he says, I'm trying to enjoy the moment. Yeah, live in the moment, enjoy the final.
What is he going to say? I'm not enjoying the moment. All I'm doing is thinking about next year.
But I do think that he Yeah, that comment sends me more toward I think that now maybe he might play in the bowl game, and he wouldn't take a scenario where he sits out that bowl game because he's going pro. We'll see. But that's how I felt when I heard it. I was like, I don't think he's coming back this year, but maybe because he values time with his guys and he wants to maximize his opportunity this year, maybe he's the quarterback in the bowl game.
I want to be cold taken so bad on this one, so I'm going to look into the camera. There's no freaking way Jaren Hall comes back next year. I hope I'm wrong. But I think, to your point about the bowl game, I agree. I think because he's not first-round guy right now in as many mocks as maybe previously, although in October there were 5 mocks where he was first-round, 12 through 28. But it feels like he's probably like rounds 3 through 6 somewhere, right? He's a pick by somebody. I think he's going to crush the pro day, which is in late March. I just wonder at the 3-month mark, 4-month mark in December, if that risk is okay for him. We'll see when we get to the bowl game. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it sure would be nice to have Jaren Hall in the bowl game. And I just don't see any way he's coming back. Again, this is his 5th season at BYU. It's only his 4th season playing. He sat out 2020, essentially. But so did most everybody. Like that was Zach Wilson's year. That was an amazing year. So, yeah, he's not coming back. One, he's too good. And 2, he's been here too long. He's married with a kid. Like, he's the perfect BYU guy where it's like, I'm 24. He's going to be 25 by the time the draft comes around.
Age and risk factor.
I would say he needs to leave, like, for his prospects. As much as we want him back, he needs to go. As
good as he might be next year for BYU in the Big 12, not saying he couldn't have a spectacular season.
Oh, trust me. BYU, like, win and a half better next year with Jaren Hall?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
Yeah. Like when your quarterback is good and experienced like he is.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely makes a huge
I
difference.
would give up all my sins to know thee to have Jaren Hall back next year.
How much better would his draft stock be, even if he did have a great season, because he's a year older? I don't know that it can get much better.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, well, now he's a late first-round pick instead of an early third-round pick. But, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, is it worth the risk?
I don't think he climbs into the first.
Is it worth the risk of potential injury coming back for one more year at
No,
BYU?
and he checked that box. He will have played, at least the 10
season,
games.
Right? He played the season.
And hopefully that continues.